And catch up with Stefanie Miller of Height Securities, an analyst over there. Stefanie, Europe leading the way. Do others follow?
Yes, I mean, I think, and what I've been looking at here is Facebook and what Congress might do. I think it's really hard for Congress to actually legislate. I think instead we're going to get a ton of hearings and probably this FTC investigation, but that's going to be where the bulk of this regulatory effort is.
Stefanie, just as far as the taxes are concerned, this was the response of the EU Commissioner Pierre Moscovici on whether this would be seen as a protectionist measure from Europe. Take a listen.
This is neither a GAFA tax nor an anti-US tax. Our proposal does not target any company or any country. We estimate that between 120 and 150 companies will actually fall into the scope of our proposals.
Stefanie, there are no tax giants in Europe, and many people in the United States may turn around and say that Europe's ambition to have a digital tax may well be a protectionist measure. Is that how this might be taken in Washington, D.C.?
Absolutely, and the trade war is ratcheting up, and there are actions that Washington, D.C. will be taking with regard to other countries as well. I think this is exactly the type of reaction that we could expect from the EU, and Washington is likely to continue being pretty protectionist itself.
Well, Stefanie, at the moment, squeezed by two political capitals, Brussels pushing for taxes, D.C. pushing for regulation. How likely is it that any time soon we get some regulation on these tech companies? Facebook in the news over the last week. How likely is it they actually respond with a policy effort?
I don't think we see a policy effort soon. I think instead the scrutiny will all be the headline risk of Facebook executives and other big technology company executives being paraded in front of committees on Capitol Hill. So similar to the last few days with a lot of negative headlines, but no actual regulatory action.
So, Stefanie, you don't see a challenge to the business model, and for that matter, would Equifax be a pretty good example of how this might play out?
That's exactly right. And Equifax, you know, that was data like Social Security numbers. So that was very identity theft-y feeling breach. And so far we've seen no real regulatory efforts against Equifax. I think it's a great analog for Facebook.
Stefanie Miller of Height Securities, it's great to have you with us. Paul Rich.